Warning, the following video contains spoilers for this past Monday's Raw. If you have not seen Raw, please turn away now. This is your final warning. I'm not kidding. Turn back now and come back later. Enjoy the video. What's up, everybody? My name is Brandon Dudechair Craven, and welcome to another edition of my top 5 favorite moments from Monday Night Raw. This time is for August 8, 2016. And if you're just now noticing, Dudechair got a new shirt. Check it out. It says Born to Roll, Rollin' Wrestling Review 2016. Now, with the other shirt, the white Rollin' Wrestling Review shirt, I didn't quite plan that logo out very well because you couldn't see it. Hopefully you can see this one a little bit better. If you want a better picture of what it looks like, go to my Facebook and Twitter. You can find both of them now at Dudechair. So that's all you got to type. At Dudechair. You can find it on Twitter and on Facebook. Check them out. I posted a better picture of the shirt. I'll probably post another one. But anyways, that's something new. This isn't new. Let's get to this week's top 5 favorite moments from Monday Night Raw. Number 5 this week, the Rusev-Lana wedding thing. I didn't know what to call it. The only good thing, and I never thought I'd say this, the only good thing about that whole segment was Roman Reigns throwing a cake in Lana's face. Or, well, she got hit by Rusev. Rusev bumped into her. Still, that segment was forgettable. I mean, Lana looked beautiful. I absolutely thought she was gorgeous. Still, never thought I'd say Roman Reigns was the best part of a segment. Number 4 this week, Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. I absolutely want to see where this goes. They've traded shady victories over the last couple of weeks. What I mean by shady is both used the tights to get the victory. I feel like I'm going to be using shady a lot this episode, so we'll see. But I am extremely interested to see where this goes. Both guys deserve a major push because both are extremely talented. So it's going to be interesting. And I like the whole dynamic of tag team partners now fighting each other. I actually like that because those type of competitors know each other so well because they teamed for so long that they know each other so well that it's going to be a great match. So we'll see what happens. 3 this week. Sheamus versus Cesaro Part 2. Another great match by what the announcers called the heavy hitters, Cesaro and Sheamus. Weird ending. Sheamus was going for the win, or he was going to hit Cesaro out of the corner, and he actually hit the referee in the back of the head, and the referee went down, missed Sheamus' 3 count, and when he got up, Cesaro rolled him up for the pin and got the 3. It was a great match. I mean, it went probably, I think it was at least 10 minutes, maybe more. But it was a great match. One of the longer matches of the night. So, I'm interested to see where it goes. And Cesaro did wrestle twice last night. I'll get to that in my pros and cons in just a minute. Overall, fantastic match. I'm really interested to see where it goes from here. Number 2 this week. The whole Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton thing. It reminds me a lot of Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania when they fought. The Rock left, it took Cena off. He didn't like him, he didn't respect him. Same thing happens here. Brock left because he didn't, quote, according to Orton, like people. That ticked Orton off. So, it's got that same dynamic. The only difference is The Rock, to me, is an actual legend. And Brock, well. And my number 1 pick for this week, the Finn Balor history lesson. Great segment. It had a Game of Thrones kind of feel to it. And honestly, I've never seen Game of Thrones, nor have I read a book for Game of Thrones. Look, I don't have HBO, okay? so I don't get to watch it. I could watch it on Netflix, but it just doesn't interest me. I've seen promos for Game of Thrones on like just different channels. It looks like an interesting series, but at this point I'm so far behind it would take too much to catch up. But I mean, it was a great segment. The whole Finn Balor demon thing is fantastic. I love the two different personas. Honestly, I like the Finn Balor demon persona. I like it. It's different. It's weird, and he makes it work. NXT, when he was in NXT, he made that persona work. I mean, you could tell it was just two different personas, and you never knew what he was going to do. I mean, I want to see the writers for Raw make this work. I want to see them use the exact same techniques they used in NXT for this guy. So, come SummerSlam, if he is the Demon Finn Balor at SummerSlam, it's going to be interesting and it's going to be fun. Now we're going to look at some honorable mentions for this week. My first honorable mention this week is the Mick Foley Daniel Bryan segment. Great segment. I love the jabs they threw at each other, and I love how they're trying to make this rivalry between Raw and SmackDown Live work. I saw one of the dirt sheets that in order for it to work, they don't need to skip over like they're doing. You know, Daniel Bryan on Raw, you know, whatever. Superstars jumping ship to Raw and SmackDown to have rivalries. I agree to that. But like that dirt sheet also said, is that they're coming up on a Big Four show, and those Big Four shows will have some crossovers. So hopefully they don't do this after SummerSlam, and then it'll just be two separate brands, and then they'll have their own pay-per-views and all that. But like I said, great segment between Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan. I didn't like the whole Sheamus, or not Sheamus, but Cesaro and Rusev coming in and basically ruining the whole segment. But that does bring me to my next honorable mention this week. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about their match that happened right after. Cesaro wrestled twice last night. He wrestled once against Sheamus in a brutal match, and then he wrestled against another brutal match with Rusev. Great match. Great match. I mean, Cesaro's a beast. He wrestled twice. Didn't show any tiredness whatsoever. The match ended up being ruined by Sheamus, who interfered at the end and cost Cesaro his shot at the United States title. I would love to see Cesaro get a push for the United States title, whether Rusev wins at SummerSlam or Roman Reigns wins at SummerSlam. I would love for the next number one contender to be Cesaro, and I would love for that match to happen because Cesaro deserves to be champion again. I really think he is a workhorse, and I really think he deserves to be a champion. Now we're going to look at some pros and cons this week. We're going to do things a little bit different this week. We're going to talk about the cons first, then we're going to talk about the pros. My first con this week is that the matches were really short. I'll get to the pro of that in just a second, but the matches were just, aside from Cesaro and Sheamus, and probably Cesaro and Rusev, the matches were really short. I mean, Charlotte and Sasha Banks, not Charlotte and Sasha Banks, but Dana Brooke and Sasha Banks probably lasted 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, it was a really short, their matches were just really short. My second con for this week is the Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson Doctor segment. It was funny, but it was so juvenile. The WWE had a chance to make Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson into these monster heels, but instead they turned them into some juvenile teenager wannabe grown-ups. I mean, you're seeing moments of when they could be monster heels, but they had this whole thing with the outsiders. You know, it was almost like they were recreating the outsiders. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. I loved it. But now they're just turning them into something else, and it's just, I don't know. Let them be monster heels. Let them just beat up people just because they can, whatever, and let them go. Don't turn them into these juvenile, delinquent, wannabe grown-ups with their promos. I just don't get it. You know, something's missing. Let me know in the comments what you think is missing with Carl and Luke. Let me know, because I am at a loss for words when it comes to that. My other con for this week, Sin Cara teaming with Neville. I thought Sin Cara was going to be a singles competitor, and yet he's teaming with Neville. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought the whole reason Sin Cara and Kalisto were split up was because they wanted to be singles competitors. I mean, you're trading in one tag team partner for another. That's what I don't understand. Maybe, hopefully, it was a one-off. Hopefully, they just did it this week, and then Sin Cara will be a singles competitor, and Neville will be a singles competitor. We'll see. And my only pro for this week is the story progression. Even though the matches were really short, despite Cesaro and Sheamus and Cesaro and Rusev not being that short, the story progression for each one was really nice. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young was really good story progression. Sasha Banks and Dana Brooke with Charlotte was really good story progression. If you don't know, Sasha won, so Dana Brooke is no longer allowed at ringside for their match at SummerSlam. So, you know, the storylines and the story progression was really good. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, neither one had a match this week, but their story progression was really nice as well. Brock Lesnar and Orton, their story progression was really nice despite not being on the card at all. So it was just really nice, even though the matches were really short. And my dear friends and neighbors, that is going to do it for me this week for my top 5 favorite moments from Monday Night Raw. Check back in tomorrow for my top 5 moments from SmackDown Live, which will be happening tonight on the USA Network. Cheap plug. Anyway, also check back later this week because hopefully the reason it didn't get posted this weekend is because I'm going to do a review of a movie that I just saw this weekend on demand, Batman vs. Superman. Fantastic movie. I'll talk about that more this week in my review. Kind of branching out a little bit. Plus, I'm going to do another Batman review. The Batman Telltale series, Episode 1, PlayStation 4 game. It came out last week for PlayStation 4, Xbox, and I believe PC. I'll be doing the PlayStation 4 version. So, check back with that later this week. Those are going to be a lot of fun. I'm kind of branching out a little bit. Still going to do wrestling, but like I said last week, I'm going to be branching out, kind of doing different reviews on things that, you know, I may watch or stuff like that. Anyway, check back tomorrow for my top 5 moments from SmackDown Live, and later this week for my reviews of Batman vs. Superman and Batman the Telltale series Episode 1 called Reign of Shadows. Check them out. I am Brandon Dude Chair Craven. I'm down for the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. God bless you. See you tomorrow right here on the Rolling Wrestling Review YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. See you tomorrow.